Yeah, food is it's memory, and it's positive memories, unless somebody was a terrible cook, you know. It's a really comforting memory. It connects you to the past, and it makes you want to bring that past to your future, meaning your children.
The spaghetti comes without meatballs.
There are no meatballs with the spaghetti?
No, sometimes spaghetti likes to be alone.
Stanley Tucci set the table for his illustrious career with his breakout role in the 1996 film Big Night.
Let's eat!
And over the next 3 decades, he racked up more than 100 film and television credits, including his Oscar-nominated performance in the 2009 drama The Lovely Bones.
There's one rule: no adults allowed.
While Stanley has long been one of the most beloved actors in all of Hollywood, last year he became one of the most beloved hosts in all of television, thanks to his CNN series Searching for Italy, which premiered in February of 2021.
I'm Stanley Tucci. I'm Italian on both sides, and I'm traveling across Italy to discover how the food in each of this country's 20 regions is as unique as the people and their past.
The first season of Searching for Italy won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Hosted Nonfiction Series.
That is really good.
And Season 2 is scheduled to roll out later this spring.
I'm thrilled. I mean, I couldn't be happier. You don't want to make a show and then it fails, you know. Although I had no idea how people were going to respond. And I certainly didn't expect this kind of response. I thought they might enjoy it, but I had no idea it was going to be like. And we ran into people when we were shooting the second season. You'd run into people saying, "Oh, we're in Italy now because we watched your show and we really wanted blah, 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 blah." We'd run into people all the time, tourists, who just, it inspired them to go travel. I mean, once they could start traveling again.
A longtime foodie, Stanley had already written a pair of cookbooks. And last October, he published his best-selling memoir, Taste: My Life Through Food.
And I wasn't so sure if I thought, can I really do this? Do I really? And Simon & Schuster said, just try to write a memoir. Just, you know, because I wanted to write something about food, but I didn't know what form it was going to take. And they said, try a memoir. I was like, I don't think I'm that interesting. And they said, you're not, but try a memoir. So I started writing it, and then, yeah, it made sense. Then it sort of all coalesced. Because I realized, particularly after I was getting there anyway, because all I could think about was food. All I could think about was cooking, and I thought, I just want to cook all the time. I want to go into restaurants. I want to get into the kitchen. I want to ask people what they're doing. And then when I got sick, it was just, all of that interest was just heightened. And I realized that it really was everything to me. That if I couldn't eat again, and I couldn't share all those wonderful times of food and wine and with my friends, I didn't really want to live anymore.
In 2018, after living with intense pain for roughly 2 years, Stanley was diagnosed with tongue cancer. Heartbreaking news for anyone, but especially for Stanley, because 9 years earlier, he had lost his first wife, Kate, to breast cancer.
Of course, when you think that there might be something wrong, you're also afraid that there's something wrong. And having, you know, gone through the death of my wife, the death of friends through cancer, you don't want to know that you have cancer. So you sort of put it off, too. But eventually, I went to a doctor, and within 10 seconds, he looked down my throat and he said, and that was that.
Stanley had a large, inoperable tumor at the base of his tongue.
It was 3 centimeters or something. It's huge. They showed me a scan, and what you saw, you know, you see your throat, right? There's a tube going down. This went like this. It went, here's the tube, and then there was the thing that went like this. So the doctor was like, I don't even know how you were swallowing.
In April 2018, Stanley began a 35-day radiation treatment at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City.
There was no surgery. They couldn't do surgery because the tumor was too big. But the tumor had not metastasized. And that's a good thing. How it hadn't metastasized, it had been in me for so long, I have no idea, but I'm glad of it. So the only way to treat it was with high-dose targeted radiation. And I had quite a high dose of it. And a form of chemo that increases the efficacy of the radiation. So the combination of those two, your cure rate is something like 87 to 90, 93% or something like that. That's huge for any kind of cancer. But the effect of the treatment was horrible because it makes you incredibly nauseous. I was, had to eat through a feeding tube. Eventually I gave up and I had to eat through a feeding tube because I wasn't getting enough sustenance. I lost 35 pounds, something like that. 30 pounds, yeah. My muscles atrophied. Your mouth is just filled with ulcers and it's horrible. I mean, it's truly horrible. At first you can barely swallow. Lost all my beard in one day. During the middle of treatment, suddenly one day I went into I took a shower and I just went like this in the mirror and all my hair came out. I was like, what's that? What's happening? And it completely disappeared. You're so sick that your head is nowhere. Nothing seemed real. You could barely lift your head from the pillow. It was a struggle to do anything, to walk to the bathroom, you couldn't go into a kitchen, you couldn't bear the smell of anything. You basically just stayed in your bedroom for months. I didn't think I was gonna die. You feel like you're gonna die, but you know you're not gonna die. Because it's not that kind of cancer. And again, there was no metastasis. So I was reassured, and looking at the statistics and knowing a fair amount about cancer, you know you're gonna be fine. But you feel like you want to die because you feel so sick. And on top of that, you're not able to interact with the people you love in the way that you like to interact with them, which is over a glass of wine, over a bowl of pasta, going out to a restaurant, inviting people over for a barbecue, going out for a great pizza, all that.
Stanley and his current wife, literary agent Felicity Blunt, first met at the 2006 premiere of The Devil Wears Prada, a film whose cast included both Stanley and Felicity's famous sister, Emily Blunt.
She's not supposed to be here until 9.
Her driver just text messaged and her facial is ruptured a disc. God, these people. That I can't even think about.
Well, I had met her at the premiere of The Devil Wears Prada. Emily brought her family over for the premiere in New York. And I'd met her and talked to her, and she and my late wife actually talked quite a bit that night because they both loved books.
4 years later, Stanley and Felicity reconnected at Emily's wedding to actor-director John Krasinski, which was held at George Clooney's home on Lake Como.
After Kate died, it was the next summer that I took everybody to Italy, my kids and my stepdaughter and my parents and Kate's dad, because we never had a chance to do it together, and I wanted to do that as a sort of in remembrance and, of Kate and in honor of Kate. And so we went, and at that time, Emily was getting married in Italy. So I took a train to Milan and then, train to George's house, and I stayed there for a few days, and it's an amazingly beautiful wedding, as you can imagine. And Felicity was there, and we started talking. And then I was going straight here to do Captain America in London. And Fee and I went out to dinner, and then that was it.
Stanley and Felicity were married in 2012, and today they have 2 children together, 7-year-old Mateo and 3-year-old Amelia, who just happened to be born while Stanley was undergoing his radiation treatment.
Amelia was born in the same hospital that where I was being treated. And I was able to go there. The doctor walked me over I stood there while Felicity had her, and then I went, I'm so happy, I love you, I gotta go. I went to bed because I couldn't even stand up. I was so sick. I think Felicity's undying attention and affection and encouragement got me through it. And my friends, and my family, you know, they check on you, they talk to you, they call you, and then suddenly one day you'll be able to eat one thing and you go like, oh my God. Or suddenly suddenly things weren't smelling really gross anymore. Suddenly things were smelling good again. And you thought, oh, it's starting to change. And then one morning, about 6 months after treatment, I woke up and I looked in the mirror and my mustache had come back. I was like, what's that blue thing under my nose? And all the hair had come back overnight. And even Isabel, my daughter who's here, she saw me downstairs. She goes, Dad, what's that thing under your nose? I was like, it's my hair. So then I only had a mustache, and then none of this. And then this slowly started to come back. But I have no hair here, because that was basically where everything was targeted. So slowly, everything starts to come back. And the ulcers start to disappear, but that took a very, very long time. Very long time. You're taking all this different kind of medication to help you to suppress the ulcers. And I still, still can't eat everything I want to eat. Like when we sat at lunch today, I don't know if you noticed how long it took me to eat that piece of chicken. It takes a while, because your salivary glands, have been damaged. The saliva's back, but it's not 100% back. And so there are just certain things you have to be careful. You have to be careful because sometimes you get something stuck and you're still like, am I going to choke on this? But that said, as I say in the book, I can taste everything. Certain things still I don't want to taste, like fruit sometimes tastes, for whatever reason, weird. I don't know why. But my sense of taste is actually heightened now, more than it ever was before, and same with my sense of smell. So that's weird. That's really weird. I think, honestly, you're living in fear that it's going to come back. But really, only since December do I feel fairly secure that it's not going to. So living in that state of fear, you're always on edge, you're a little nervous, you're sad, you're confused, you don't want it to come back, you want to see your children grow up and get married and be happy. But now I'm beginning to relax into it and relax into life a little more and enjoy life a little more.